You're driving a car designed by Nazis, built by slave labor, and rejected by Ford as not worth a damn. Yet somehow, this same company became the world's largest automaker, owning Lamborghini, Bentley, and Porsche. This is Volkswagen's shocking journey from Hitler's war machine to global empire. In 1933, as Germany crumbled under economic collapse, Adolf Hitler had a vision. Put every German in a car. But this wasn't just about transportation. It was about control. Propaganda, and eventually war machines. Enter Ferdinand Porsche, a brilliant Czech engineer who had to abandon his nationality and become German just to work with the Nazis. Together, they created what would become the Volkswagen Beetle. But here's the twisted part. Hitler's specifications weren't just for a family car. The hood had to be strong enough to mount a machine gun. What most people don't know is that Porsche didn't actually invent the Beetle. He essentially stole it. The design came from Jewish engineers like Joseph Gons, who created the Standard Superior, featuring the exact same rear engine, curved roof, and even used Volkswagen in their advertising years before the Nazi company existed. When these engineers threatened lawsuits, Hitler had a simple solution: invade their countries and shut them down. The Czech company Tatra was so outraged by the theft that they took Porsche to court. Hitler's response? Cancel the lawsuit and invade Czechoslovakia 15 months later. To fund their factory, the Nazis created a brilliant scam. German workers would pay 5 Reichsmarks per week, a huge sacrifice when the average salary was only 32 marks, to eventually receive their people's car. 336,000 Germans fell for it, contributing 280 million Reichsmarks. The result? They got nothing. Not a single civilian received their promised car. Instead, the factory was secretly producing military vehicles for the Nazi war machine. By 1940, the Volkswagen factory had become a full Nazi war production facility. But they had a problem: not enough workers. Their solution was horrifying: use Soviet prisoners, Polish civilians, and Jewish concentration camp prisoners as slave labor. These forced workers made up 80% of Volkswagen's workforce. They were housed in concentration camps built right on factory grounds, worked to death, and paid nothing. But the most disturbing part was what happened to pregnant workers. Volkswagen built what they called a nursery facility, but it was actually a death camp for babies. Infants were deliberately neglected, starved, and left to die from exposure and disease. At least 365 babies and toddlers perished at this facility, designed solely to get mothers back to work as quickly as possible. When Germany lost the war, everyone wanted Volkswagen destroyed. The Allies tried to give it away for free, first to British manufacturers, then to Ford. Henry Ford II himself inspected the bombed factory and declared it not worth a damn. Enter Major Ivan Hurst, a 28-year-old British officer tasked with dismantling the factory. Instead, he saw potential. He convinced the British Army to order 20,000 Beetles as military transport, single-handedly saving the company from extinction. Initially, Americans hated the Beetle. In 1949, only 2 cars sold in the entire U.S. It reminded them of Nazis, looked weird compared to big American cars, and seemed unreliable. But Volkswagen did something revolutionary. They told the truth. While other car companies promised luxury and sex appeal, Volkswagen's ads were brutally honest. It's ugly, but it gets you there. This honesty combined with incredible reliability and fuel efficiency, won over the counterculture movement of the 1960s. The Beetle became a symbol of rebellion against materialism. By 1972, it had outsold Ford's Model T to become the world's best-selling car, with customers waiting 12 to 18 months for delivery. Success bred complacency. Volkswagen failed to innovate, losing ground to Japanese competitors in the 1980s and 90s. Their salvation seemed to come with clean diesel, technology in the 2000s, cars that promised environmental friendliness without sacrificing performance. It was all a lie. In 2015, Volkswagen was caught installing software designed to cheat emissions tests. Their clean diesels were actually 40 times more polluting than advertised. The scandal cost them $30 billion in fines and destroyed decades of carefully built trust. Despite every scandal, Volkswagen survived and thrived. Today, they own some of the world's most prestigious brands: Lamborghini, Bentley, Bugatti, Porsche, and Audi. They're locked in an eternal battle with Toyota for the title of world's largest automaker. Now, they're betting everything on electric vehicles, hoping to distance themselves from their diesel scandal and maintain their automotive empire. They've introduced competitive SUVs for American markets and invested billions in electrification. From Nazi war machine to global empire, Volkswagen's story is one of the most controversial corporate transformations in history. They've survived Hitler's regime, Allied bombing, post-war rejection, multiple scandals, and countless competitors. Whether you see them as a company that overcame a dark past or one that profited from unforgivable crimes, one thing is undeniable. They've mastered the art of reinvention. The question is, what will they become next? What do you think about Volkswagen's transformation? Can a company truly escape its dark origins? Or are some sins unforgivable? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more shocking corporate histories that will change how you see the brands around you. Hit that notification bell because trust me, you won't want to miss what we're uncovering next.